I'm recording this video for the second time because the first time I recorded it, I didn't have audio recorded. And now I've got to do it again, which really sucks, but I have no other option. Anyway, if you're a subscriber of this channel, chances are you've come across some of my DJ sets. I've had a couple of DJ sets go viral on this platform, of course in some music videos, and that's how most of you came to know about me or came across this particular channel. And so during this period, I've had a lot of people, or a couple of people, why am I saying a lot of people if there's so many? I've had a couple of people ask me how I record my sets. And so in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys how I record my sets, how I record the audio, and how I film the videos, from the sets that I do outdoors to the sets that I do during my active sets, like in festivals or in a club. So without further ado, let's get started. Like almost 90% of the time, I DJ using a laptop. I'm one of those people that they call laptop DJs because I use Serato DJ, and there is no standalone unit that actually has Serato or runs on Serato. So I need my laptop with me. And so one of the ways that I record my audio is through Serato DJ. And how do I do that? I just come on Serato DJ and then I press record, and then here I can give a name of my set, and then I select the location where do I want it recorded or saved, and then I press record here. And then once I'm done, I'll just press stop, and then I'll come here and press save, and my set will be saved in whichever location that I had assigned here. Now, one of the most important things to notice when you're recording your sets on Serato DJ is this part. This is the volume. So it doesn't matter if you're clipping on your unit. If you're using Serato DJ, this is the most important part. So if it's completely up, chances of you clipping are very high, and probably your mix will be distorted. So you don't want that. You wanna reduce this volume to somewhere around there. Like I like putting it around there at 12 o'clock. When I have it there, like I'm pretty sure it's not gonna clip whatsoever. And with that, it means I'll have the flexibility to increase the volume later in post while I'm editing my mix, or while I'm editing the video before I just post it. So I'm gonna remaster the audio by just leveling up the volumes, because at the end of the day, I can never get all the songs to play at the same volume, because they were mastered differently by different engineers in different studios, and before the song got to me, like it's been converted, maybe some are remixes, some are like, it's just not the same. I'm never gonna get them at the same level. So if I want to post the mix later on, I'll need to level everything to be around at the same level, you know, so that when you're listening to the mix, you don't have to be playing with your volume knob. Maybe you're in the car, you raise it up and then you come down. No, it has to be smooth. So that's why I reduce it that way, so that I can have enough headroom to play around with it in post. If you're using Rekordbox or Virtual DJ or even Algorithm DJ, all these softwares have a built-in recorder that you can use to record your mixes. This is just an example of how I do it on Serato, but you can do it on all these other softwares. But now the problem comes when you're streaming your music, because if you're streaming, the softwares won't allow you to record because of the licensing issues. So in order for you to be able to record your sets while streaming your music, there are two options that you have. Either you get an external recorder, or you find a way to play around with it. Let me show you how you can do it. There was this one particular time when I was invited to DJ in a wedding, and the couple gave me a Spotify playlist, and they told me I should play music strictly from this particular playlist and nothing else. And since they were paying me well, I was like, no problem, challenge accepted. So I just took the playlist, I transferred it to Apple Music because they don't have a Spotify subscription, and I just played directly from Apple Music. But I really wanted to record this set. And now the problem came, I couldn't record it directly on Serato DJ. So what did I do? I just opened QuickTime Player, like it's here. And then I just came here and then new audio recording. And then here, I came and selected Serato DJ, Serato Virtual Audio, you know. Like this means it will record the audio that comes directly from Serato. And this is very important. And then on quality, I took maximum quality. I don't know what high quality sounds like because I've never used it, but I just thought, yeah, let me get the maximum quality that I can get from this. Serato Virtual Audio is very important to select because you don't want the recorder picking up any other sounds that your laptop might produce. Let's say a notification comes in or anything like that. You don't want your recorder to pick any of that. You just wanted to take the music from Serato, whatever you're playing on your unit, and that will be coming from your Serato DJ. So that is very important. I've done this once or twice, and the mixes that came out were actually good. Like, they were sounding good. So it's something that I'd recommend to any one of you who's on a budget. You don't have much money to buy external recorders just to record your sets, simply because you are streaming your music and you can't record it internally using the softwares. So that is very important. You've got to find a way around it. I've seen some people use Audacity, which I've never used, so I don't know how it works, but I think that's another way that you can do it. But now let's say you're using one of these. This is a standalone unit, you know, like a unit like this one, and you're streaming music. It simply means you cannot record your sets internally completely. So how do you do this? In order for you to be able to do this, you've got to use external recorders. And the external recorders, the most common ones are the Tascam recorders and the Zoom recorders. They're really good. They'll give you like 32-bit float, you know, and the audio quality is very great. And they also give you this particular option whereby you can be recording your mix, and let's say you're playing in front of a live audience. They can also pick up the sound of the audience and record that as a separate file that later on you can mix together with your mix if you want to have that live experience, you understand? And it always sounds good, like it's really cool. But the problem is these recorders are pretty expensive. They're not very cheap, you understand? So if you don't have the budget for this particular recorders, then you've got to find a way around it. And one of the ways is just by using your phone, for example. You can just use an aux cable, get an adapter for your phone, like a lightning adapter to 3.5mm jack, and then connect it, record your set into your phone. It works. It works out like pretty well. I've done that also once or twice, and it worked out like pretty well. So you don't have to spend so much money on these particular recorders unless you have the budget for it, you understand? Using an aux cable, you can also record directly into your camera, meaning you won't have to synchronize everything later. That's also an option that you can make, and you just have to turn like the audio input on your camera, like you check the settings and then you change from microphone to line, and then it will record the audio directly into your camera. But now, one thing that you need to be careful about when you're recording externally, either using the Tascam recorders or your phone or into the camera, you need to be very careful with your master. You should not by any means be clipping, because that means you'll be sending distorted signal into your external device. So it doesn't matter if the Tascam recorder can do 32-bit float. If you're already sending a distorted signal, there is nothing that 32-bit float will help with. So it's better to be super careful with it. A lot of times it's better to set up the external recorder maybe on the booth and then use the master on the speakers. So if you want the speakers to be loud, just turn up the speakers, but don't turn up the booth too loud. Or put your speakers on the booth and then send the recorder on the master, which will really be helpful for you. And then make sure that the levels are not that high. Give it enough headroom so that later on you can just remaster the audio and level it to be on one particular level or almost at the same level so that it doesn't clip. You understand what I'm saying? My videos are mostly recorded using this. This is the Insta360 X5. It's a great camera that I've been using for over a year now, and most of my viral videos were filmed using this. But do you really need an Insta360? It's a camera that I won't recommend to somebody, especially somebody that doesn't have filmmaking background. I am a cinematographer, so I have no problem using the Insta360, but it's a camera that you can quickly hate because of the workflow, simply because you need to take the 360 footage into the Insta360 app for you to be able to keyframe it, to get the best angles that you want, and then you export that and you send it to maybe DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or whichever software you use to edit, and then you synchronize the audio from there, which is just too much work. If you'd ask me right now if I'd buy it again, I'd say no. Maybe I'd buy the DJI Osmo Actions, not the Osmo Pocket, but the Osmo Action. Maybe two of them, one to face me and another one to face the audience. I wanted the Insta360 because it was filming like 360 and I wanted to film myself and film the audience, but if I was to do it again, I wouldn't buy this particular camera because it's also expensive. I would buy the Osmo Action, two of them, at the price of one combo package of this, and it would do the work for me. So what would I recommend for you? I just recommend for you to use your iPhone. If you have an iPhone 13 and above, it's good enough. Just use the back camera, not the front camera, and get yourself one of these. This is like a phone holder. This is enough for you to just put your phone there and record your sets. I know some of you might worry about not being able to see yourself or not being able to see if the set is being recorded or the phone has stopped recording, which is a fair point, to be honest, but I'd also say you can do that by just mirroring your phone to your MacBook, or even the Windows laptop can do that. If you have an Android, you can now mirror your phone to the Windows laptop and you can be able to see yourself. Or if you have an iPhone and an iPad, you can use the iPad to mirror your phone and then just be able to see whatever you're doing or whatever the phone is doing without having any problem. Worst case scenario, just put a mirror in front of that phone and then you can be able to see whether it's recording or not, whether it's filming or not, but don't go and spend all your money on cameras, especially if you don't have a filmmaking background. I've also used Panasonic S5 Mark II and Blackmagic cameras to film my sets, but these are high-end projects. These are projects whereby I'm invited to a club or maybe to a private event or a festival where I'm making maybe, I don't know, 2,000 euros for the set. So I can bring a videographer with me and give him 300, 400, 500 euros to film this particular event for me or this particular set for me because I have the capacity to do that. But you don't have to do that. Like, you don't need all this filming equipment because you're not a filmmaker. You're just a DJ. All you need is just your phone. As long as you have a good phone with a good camera, that's enough. Trust me, the best videos, the most viral videos that I've ever created, both on YouTube and on my socials, were just made using phones. So you don't really need this high-end gear. I know I'm telling you that, although I own all this gear, but you need to understand that I'm not just an audio engineer, but I'm also a filmmaker. I have a degree in cinematography. So that's why I've got all this stuff. Before things clicked for me in DJing, I used to be a videographer, I used to be a cinematographer, I worked in film and I worked in advertising and all this stuff. So that's why I own all this stuff and I still have my videography company. But for you who's just a DJ, you don't need any of this stuff. When it comes to outdoor sets, one of the things that is very important is a power source for your unit. A lot of times I'd recommend using a smaller controller like the Flex 4, which is powered by the laptop, so you don't need to bring power sources. But if you're as stubborn as me and you're using maybe the Rev 5 outside, which requires power supply, then I use this. This is a power bank from iNew. This company is called iNew. It's really great. Like, this one powers my DJI Rev 5 for about 8 hours without any problem. So I've never run out of power when I'm using this. It's beautiful, it's amazing, and I really love it. It charges fast and it powers this particular unit for like forever. 8 hours is so long. Like, I'm never doing an outdoor set for 8 hours anyway. So I've never run out of power when I'm using this. It's really great I'd recommend it. I'll link it in the description below if you're interested in getting one of these. I also use one of these to power my laptop, and yeah, the laptop of course requires more power compared to the Rev 5. So what I do is I just use this to make sure that my laptop doesn't go off when I'm DJing. My laptop's internal battery can last about 2 hours when I'm DJing. If I'm not DJing, it can last the entire day, which is funny. But if I'm DJing, it can go for like 2 hours, maybe. Yeah, I think 2 hours max, or maybe 2.5, I'm not sure. But if I have this, then I'm guaranteed at least 3 hours. So I bring this with me every time. But if we are outside just chilling, barbecue, you know, that means we're gonna be outside for maybe 5-6 hours, and I wanna play some stuff for my friends. So I can bring this. This is bigger, but this is a V-mount battery. Again, I'm a filmmaker, that's why I have a V-mount battery. You don't need a V-mount battery. This is freaking expensive because it's about 250 euros. And this can power my laptop for about 4 to 5 hours. If I have this and I've charged my laptop up to 100%, then I'm guaranteed to get a solid 6 to 8 hours without a problem. But honestly speaking, you don't need this. Average DJ said that you post on YouTube is always like an hour to 1.5 hours. You don't create 5-hour sets. Like, who's gonna listen to a 5-hour set anyway? I'd recommend this. I knew power banks, they're like $40, $50, I'm not sure. But I'll link them in the description below, you can check them out. And being outside, of course, you're gonna need a table where you're gonna put your unit and your controller, your laptop, I mean. I use this particular table here, and this one costed me around $50 if I'm not wrong. It's very lightweight, it's great, it's very practical, I really love it. This is not wood, I think this is like plastic or maybe 3D printed, I'm not sure, but it's amazing. Like, I can fold it and carry it like a briefcase, which is great. And then the legs, are they called the legs? The legs are adjustable. I can raise it up or take it lower, which is also amazing for somebody who is tall like me. Like, I always need to raise it up a little bit when I'm outside. So I really love it. It's very, very great for DJing. I'll also link it in the description below. One more thing that you don't need it, but it's good to have, it's a Magicam. I don't know where I threw my Magicam, but I'll put a picture here. Now you can see that's a Magicam. And the Magicam can help you to mount your camera anywhere you want. For example, in one of the festivals that I recently played, there was no space for me to put my camera, so I just mounted it on this pole that was holding the speaker. I mounted it there and I put my 360 cam there, and I got some pretty good content from there, so it was really helpful. So the Magicam, it's always with me. Whenever I'm going out, I have to have it. I'm pretty sure it's in the car. I forgot it there, so that's the reason why I can't find it here. So that's one thing that I also link in the description below. You can check it out. Otherwise, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Blessings.